Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back with another episode of our Oklahoma series. We have just finished seeding this first of our two fields, our bigger field here, with a little bit of winter wheat. And we did have to run up and refill our wheat here off camera, so we're going to get set up and moved across the way here to our other field. We've been running this smaller John Deere tractor over here on our tillage equipment just to get this field ready for us while we were planting. It wasn't the best suited tractor for the implement, but we had a lot of work to do, and I didn't want to wait until we were done seeding to get going on that. And so we did do a little bit of an upgrade off camera. Somebody suggested in the comments that we move it up to a 4440 instead of the 4240, and so we did make that upgrade. It's now a 4440, and I tossed some front weights on there. It did seem to help quite a bit. We were tilling over here at about 5 miles an hour, I think, so not quite the max speed for this disc, but we were doing pretty good, so I felt a little bit better about letting the worker go on this tillage here in the background while we wrapped up our seeding. So we're gonna bring this back up to the yard here and get it stored away. And I think for the time being, we're actually gonna just store it here up alongside this barn and go with that. We still haven't bought ourselves a pressure washer yet, so we're gonna have to sort that out here soon. It's a little dirty. Luckily, it's not too dirty, so I don't feel too bad about sitting it out there for right now. But we definitely do need to get something to clean this equipment up here soon. We're just a bit short on money at the moment, so I'm going to park this thing in the garage here as well. And let's go see where we're at with this seeding. I think the worker's going to be doing okay here. But I do want to kind of check on him and make sure that we're making the rounds without any problems. Hopefully this isn't his first pass still. Nope, we've made a round here. We did start on that end, that makes sense, so almost a full round already. And if we just jump in here real quick, it looks like we've got about 8% fertilizer left. So we are going to run out of fertilizer at some point in this field and need to top this seeder off. What we might do is let this worker run. I'm gonna hop out here and we'll go grab the pickup and set that up for fertilizer, and we'll make a run up to the co-op while the worker's still moving here. So customizing this truck is actually pretty straightforward. We're just going to hop in here and change this over to dry fertilizer and hit customize, and we should be all set to run up to the co-op here. Luckily it's not too far away. We've made this run a few times at this point. I'd been playing with my graphics settings earlier and I noticed that they were causing me some grief on this map, so we have also swapped out our graphics settings a little bit here. So hopefully if you've noticed any choppiness in the beginning part of this video, it should be resolved at this point forward. Not necessarily a fault of the map, but more of my ever-ending tweaking of various graphical settings to try and optimize my looks and colors and different things in the videos, and not realizing that they were causing problems with the recording software. So we're coming up on the co-op here, and if I recall correctly, it's inside of this particular building here is where we're going to get our dry fertilizer refilled. Now this will be the first time I've tried to do it with the pickup truck. It looks like it's going to work just fine for us though. I moved the truck. Let's maybe move it back. It had started loading so fine. Oh, we ran out of money. Let's try this again. That should probably be enough. We don't need a ton, quite literally a ton. of fertilizer to finish up our field. I'm thinking half a ton here, 0.6 tons, 60% of a ton is gonna do just fine. And so we're gonna zip back on up here to the farm now that we're all loaded up and see if we can load this seeder up. Hopefully we can catch up to him before he runs out of fertilizer. However, looking up at the money, it's not currently going down, which tells me that our worker is already stopped and I have just missed that message. So we're gonna zip up here to the farm as fast as we can and see if we can get him moving again. And it looks like, just to make sure it's inconvenient, we've stopped on the farthest end of the field from us, so we'll have to actually head on out here and see if we can load him up in the field. Luckily we've got this awesome Chevy Silverado, perfect for bouncing around out in the field. Now the question is, where is my fill planes? I'm not entirely sure, so I'm gonna back up right in here, I think. Oh, there we go, perfect. Looks like it's got the loading trigger. And so we're gonna pull as much of this out as we can here real quick. Doesn't look like it loads terribly fast, but that's okay. We are doing it by hand, I suppose. It would take a little bit of effort to muscle some of this stuff around. I guess in reality, if this was real life, this arm on the side would be for picking up that pallet and putting it into the tank. It's kind of a shame that that doesn't actually work here, but it is what it is. And it looks like we're all filled up here, so I'm going to go ahead and start this thing back up and get it moving again on these rows. It looks good. And then let's go ahead and get our pickup out of the field here. We'll get this back up to the farm. And one thing I'm curious about here, since we've got the worker going already and we don't have a whole lot else to do, is how hard it's going to be to load up these big cotton bales on our semi-trailer. And so I want to check that out. Might as well get one of them loaded up here. I don't think we're going to have anything else that we need the semi for in the meantime. And so we've only got 3 of these big bales, but I think this trailer is only going to hold 1 at a time. I'm looking at this trailer and wondering if this is going to hold 1 or 2 of those big cotton modules. I can't wait to see how this is going to work. Not my best backup job, but we got it connected. And I think what we're gonna do is circle around here. And my intent is to load up the largest of these bales first, I think. We've got 2 full bales and a partial bale. And so what I'm thinking here is we're going to swing around these bales, because the partial bale is the one we've got right there on that end. And I'm going to back up into this bale and see if we can figure out how to get this loaded up on this trailer. So we're going to turn our HUD on here to see what the controls are. It looks like operating position is the first step here. And let's see if I can back this right up here. It looks like it's gonna load it right up, and that is definitely a 1 bale trailer. So we're gonna go ahead and put that back into the transporting position here and pull this on up into the yard. Maybe there's straps. Nope. So hopefully it doesn't fall off here. Make sure we've got enough room to spin around here in the yard. Looking good. And so I think what I'm gonna do is actually just back this into the shed and leave it all connected up here. We've got plenty of space in this garage for this semi, and so maybe we'll back it into the end of this shed the long way to make sure we don't run into any problems. And that way, when it is time to sell, we're going to be all set up and ready to go. We can just drive this thing up to the sell point. I believe selling time for cotton is towards the end of the winter based on the season's calendar. It's been just a little bit since we looked at that, so maybe we should pull that up real quick here. If I look at seasons and look at our economy tab here, cotton prices, ignore the difference here. This is just the fact that I'm using unit convert, but cotton prices seem to go up towards the end of the year here. Looks like winter day 6 is going to be the high point, and so we'll be selling that off here in a few more days of seasons. It's only early autumn at the moment, so we do have to get all the way through autumn and into winter. However, I think at this point we don't have a whole lot left to do. Once the wheat comes up, we're going to need to spray it with some herbicide here. But other than that, I think we're in a pretty good spot this year. Going to hop in our seeder here again and just kind of check out how he's doing. We've got plenty of seed, plenty of fertilizer. And so hopefully this wheat will germinate here shortly. And once it comes up, we'll be able to hit it with some herbicide and then just wait to get into next year, because I don't know that it's going to get ready for harvest here before the end of the year. It's possible. There's a fairly lengthy growing cycle on the wheat if we take a look here. It does grow all the way into winter, and so I'm not sure if this is because we're planting a little bit late because we're double cropping with cotton. I'm not sure we'll get it before the end of winter here or not. That's kind of what I'm curious to see here. And that's gonna wrap up our winter wheat seeding here. So let's go ahead and get this thing all folded up and back up into the yard. We probably should actually invest in that pressure washer here before the dealer comes to pick this thing back up. It's been a wonderful lease here for us, but we don't want to return it looking horrible, or we may not get such a great deal in the future. So we're gonna park it up here. I'm gonna figure out a good spot to put a pressure washer on our farm here off camera, and we'll get all of our equipment cleaned up. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, hit that like button for more daily farm sim content. That's all for today. Keterk out. Come on, stupid spike. Whoa.